Good morning, my knitters. You're watching Recreational Knitting. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from beautiful Ormond Beach, Florida, where it's about 90 degrees out there. Weather report's done. We had a little bit of a disturbance this week with Ernesto. Ernesto didn't come ashore in the United States, but he sure messed Puerto Rico and Bermuda up. We had some rough water. Red flag warnings all up and down our area of the beach. And so it's now mid-August and really not had any significant hurricane on the Atlantic Ocean side. Oh, please. I hate hurricanes. I hate all the hurricane prep and, you know, damage. It's crazy, but yeah, so I live in Florida. Anyway, so I'm hoping you're all well. What are you knitting on? Leave it down below. Seems like I've been knitting, and I don't have anything really to show for it. One finished object today. You want to see it? Oh no, don't. So excited. It's not something that you've seen at all. This was an online challenge. I'm in a small knitting group online. The administrator gave us a challenge to find the ugliest skein in your stash and make something. No patterns allowed. So that kind of leaves me in a lurch because I'm a pattern girl. Now from that I can take off many different directions, but I need something to start with. So that was kind of a challenge. But I thought, let's just do a shawl, or if it's short, a cowl. And I had the perfect skein. It was a Noro skein. I don't know which Noro it was, but it's long been discontinued. This has been in my stash for 8 years, no less, because I got it at a thrift store for 99 cents. Back when thrift stores were actually thrifty. And I thought, oh, surely I can make something lovely out of that. Well, I looked at it after I got it home and I thought, you know, that's really not very pretty. These aren't very pretty colors. But you know, Noro, there might be a beautiful surprise in the making. Well, I'll let you decide. What do you think? Oh, let me get that so you can see it. It does not have a point. I started out thinking that I was going to make a bigger, but then I realized that this was worsted weight, and I thought, I'm not ripping it back. But I really think it's ugly. I mean, it's not my colors, let's put it that way. Garter stitch, boom, boom, boom. So yeah, I finished the challenge. I blocked it yesterday. It kind of took all day to block. This is a cotton silk wool. I think there's something else in there, but it's mostly cotton, so it's not as heavy as you'd want. But that was my challenge. So yeah, so that's it for the finished objects. Yeah, I don't know what I did, except I had about maybe 2 yards left. Yeah, that was it. And it's a good thing I kept that because I found a stitch that I'd slipped way back. And so I just tucked it in and pretended it's all the way to the top. Yeah, so yeah, I used my little crochet hook for a bit and then said, okay, that's going to start looking funky, and go from there. So that's my finished object. Yay! Let's see, whips, whip it good. And points to those of you that told me Devo last week. Awesome. I was working in Brazil, Indiana at the time as a special educator at the Brazil High School. And we had a whole group of Devo devotees. They were amazing kids. And they had a little band that played only Devo stuff. Well, not only, but mostly Devo stuff. And, you know, the school had them for, you know, pep rallies and that kind of stuff. So that takes me back to a day that, you know, I didn't have gray hair and, you know, bad knees. So, yeah, so thanks for playing. Next one is my second tanker tee. I have still not finished the I-cord in the other one. I picked it up, looked at it, and put it down. So this is the tanker tee. This designer. She has a podcast. Look her up. Very good. I like her a lot. Let's see. What I did this week with my whips is I picked one a day and I worked on that until my hands hurt. So this is where I'm at. I was here last time, so I've done a couple of inches, which is not insignificant. I wish I would have had 6 or 7 inches, but yeah, still have not done the shoulders, which is going to be done with mattress stitch. And this is made with Drops Bell in the almond rose color. I'm not sure what the number is. Oops, sorry about that. But yeah, it's beige. It has just the hint of a pink. I like it. It will go with everything if I hurry up and get it finished. And when you see all these summer tops, don't worry. We're summer here until November. And then maybe even into December. So yeah, it's good. So that's the tanker tee. And let me show you a picture of the front in case you're new and haven't seen this before. It's just a simple t-shirt. I like it. I like it a lot. It's and this is a DK weight yarn, and I like it. All right, here's my one whip on the floor. I probably should film someday how this looks after I'm done. It's crazy. All right, let's see. This is my knitting shop work. I only work on it there because it's garter and it's no brainer. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Don't know what. But I'm getting down to the last bits of the yarn. This is a Freya. And it's in the color of water lilies. This is a fingering weight, 430 yards. It's a long changing yarn. This was in the inside of the ball, and I usually don't start knitting from the inside of the ball because it makes yarn barf. And we're coming up on the green. This is very lovely. This right in here, this has shades of green and purple in it. Don't know how they do it, but man, is they talented. Can you see that? Just a little bit of purple within that green. It's great. And now I'm getting into the lighter green, which is the last color to knit up. So if I go Tuesday to knitting, this is what I'm going to work on. And hopefully I will have, what's that? I don't know. A boo-boo. I'll have to look at that later. But that's where I was last time, and that's how much I've done. I actually went to the knitting shop twice this week. So, yeah, this is called the Back Bay Boomerang. And it's now big enough that I can wrap it around my neck. So, Back Bay Boomerang is made for, is it Wonderland Blossom? Yes, Wonderland Yarns Blossom. But this is what I had in my stash, so this is what I used. Lovely. I really like the colors. Yeah, I was going to make this for someone else, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if that daughter of mine calls me this week. So yes, whip number 2. And I keep that in this pretty bag. Got it off Etsy. I don't know. It's been years. I've only washed it twice, and it still comes out really, really nice. It's probably due for a wash after this project is done. I usually don't go out in public with nice bags like this. I go out with like the little muslin bags. That's usually what I end up going out with. So, speaking of little muslin bags, I'll show you my next whip. This is called an Italian summer scarf by the Italian knitter. Some of you may watch her podcast. Yarn over, knit pearl. No, not even pearls. Another mindless knit when you're watching TV. I've made a little progress on this week. This I took to a doctor's appointment. Why is it, if anybody can tell me, why you put your knitting in the bag and you wrap it up nice, take the yarn and do this and get it tighter so that you don't have a mess, and then all of a sudden it comes back in, you know, a mess. It's like they have a party in there. Anyway, I've done this much on it this week, which isn't very much, but again, lovely. This is a very light green. It's 100% silk. This is a Wonderland 100% silk yarn. This is one of the things that I'll be taking on my cruise. I have a black linen dress, and I'm going to take, that's the only dress I'm taking. First of all, I only have 2, other than my swimming dresses. But anyway, I'm taking a couple of, probably 3 wraps, and every night I'll look different. Black dress, different wraps. So this is what I'm taking. So yeah, we're not going till December, so I've got plenty of time. But yes, this is just a light sage green, and the camera never catches it. It's a little more green than that. So, not a whole lot to show you, but there is some progress with that. So that's another whip. Those whips in the corner, yeah, we need to talk about that. Anyway, I'll put that in the bag later. All right, let's see what else I've got going here. Another little one skein shawl, and all these will probably go on the cruise with me just because they're fun. This is called the Berkeley Shawl, and this is on a pattern by Ba yarn out of La Jolla, California. Hopefully you have access to that lovely yarn somewhere in your life. They really have lovely yarn. This is 100% superwash merino wool, 400 yards, 115 grams. So when you buy this yarn, it's a little bit thicker than typical fingering yarn. So it's a little more costly as a result, but you get 115 grams. And it's just a little thicker. And this is in the colorway Baby Steps. Yeah, Baby Steps, baby. And I wanted a very nice neutral. I don't know whether you can really see that well or not, but there's some dark greens, some teals. There's some of the Grello colorway in there, but it's mainly gray. And when I hold it up to show you, it comes out as a gray. But you can see that in the knitting, there is dark green pops, light green pops. Yeah, and that's where I was last week. Again, didn't do a whole lot on this. I worked on this waiting to give for blood work. You know, so you do what you can when you can, right? Yeah, it's like when you have a bazillion whips and you keep starting them. New sound effects. It's a very sad situation I've got going here, just saying. And I keep that in my lovely Ravens bag, or Ravens, go Baltimore. Those of you who are new here, I am from the Baltimore area, and I am quite a football fan. Right behind my neck, there is a Baltimore Ravens reserved parking sign. Yeah, somebody gave me that at work years ago. And of course, we as teachers don't have reserved anything, not even rooms. So, yeah, big Ravens fan. So, how many is that so far? That's 4. Imagine that. All right. I'm not going to show you that. Not yet. But I am going to show you. Oh, my pillow fell down. There we go. The next whip is done in yarn that my local yarn store owner dyes. And she came up with a fade, and there's one more that's lighter than this. I started my latest anchor tee. And again, those of you that are new, this is like the 50th one, not quite, but close. I think it's my 6th or 7th. We're not going to talk about it. It's an obsession. But when you find something that works, right? Anyway, it's my story, sticking to it. I certainly am getting my money's worth from the pattern. I am on the 5th and last little row here, and I've done very little on it because this is the night that we went out to dinner, and I just didn't have a whole lot of time before I needed to get to bed. But it's coming. The next color will be, in the fade, will be this. It's not a big fade because you can see that color is in that darker yarn. But yeah, so I'm making progress, not very much, but you know, sometimes you have to accept that 3 or 4 rows is good on a sweater. Yeah, particularly. So I'm going to hang that back up. And those of you that don't know the the Anchor summer shirt, here's Miss Itty Bitty. I don't know what her name is. I did know at one time, but it's got, this is where I'm at the yoke, and it's just a plain stockinette from there on. So I'm close to hitting the stockinette, and once I separate for sleeves, I'll be in my happy place, because that's my happy place. Speaking of happy places, we're gonna go right here to the next whip. This is, oh boy, you're gonna ask me for a pattern, aren't you? Yeah. This is the Breeze Way, holy smoly. All right. And this is by Fogbound Knits. I do like this pattern. It seems to be fitting well so far. I don't know, we'll see how it fits over the tum. This is where I'm at. I'm doing helical knitting with this, as I have 3 skeins of pretty different yarn. So I have these on the hook right now, but as you can see, I've used this one too. So I have to keep these 3 going, and I have to keep writing down which I need to use. So you can see that I've used pretty equal amounts of all of them. And yet, you can see that there are places that things start to go a little less than I would have liked. But you know what? It's okay. I think it would be pretty. This is made with Trilogy yarns. Nancy does a wonderful job of knitting. This base is probably one of the loveliest bases that I've used. And the colorway is Unicorn Farts. Ha ha ha! Pretend this is a unicorn, right? Anyway, this is where I'm at. I've done maybe 2 inches, something like that this week. Again, not a ton. It seems like I've been knitting an awful lot, but only making, you know, a couple inches on 5 different t-shirts that I'm making. I could probably have one of these done, like this one, yeah. But that's not how I operate. Those of you who've been here a while know that. Yeah, works in progress. And then they all seem to finish about the same time. So I'll put that back. Yeah, Unicorn Farts. Yeah, baby. All right, let me get the next whip down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here's a 7th. This is another different t-shirt, which I really think this will probably be knit again. That's my feeling. Could be wrong, but it seems to fit really nice up here at the yoke. I'll have to do some increases along the side because we don't have waist, you know, after 60. Thank you, menopause. Of course, I never had one to begin with. I've just separated for the sleeves. And when I say just, I am not kidding. I think I have 2 rows after that. Yeah. So that was one evening that I worked on. Let's see, where's my marker to show you where I was the last time? Probably don't have it. Come on, Karen. I probably lost it. Anyway, It's way over here on where I separated from the sleeves. Again, about an inch. But when you've got, 400 stitches. All right, this is the Bustleton. Don't hold me to that. Wait till I get the paperwork out. Because you know me. I was right. Bustleton Tea by Erica Flory. Obviously, I'm not doing this in stripes. And this is being knit with, let me get it right, Key Bridge. Being from Baltimore, this is by Neighborhood Fiber. And I'd like for that to be my, maybe this one. Maybe they'll say this is good. Thumbnails. They've changed things so that it's really difficult for you to get a good one out of your film, your movie. And the last one was just really rando. So let's get back to this. This is Neighborhood Fiber Co. out of Baltimore. And this is Key Bridge, which was a fundraiser for the families of the 6 men who were workers on the Key Bridge, who perished the day that it collapsed. So yeah, things are going well for that whole thing. Obviously, the bridge is not rebuilt yet, but they are able to get shipping in and out, and things are moving probably faster than they thought they would. Yeah, so this is it, Key Bridge. Right now, she's on a little bit of a respite. So if you go to order something, her staff will do what they can to accommodate you. But I would recommend that if you've not tried her yarn, it's really lovely. It's not as soft as the unicorn farts, but this is organic and it's still lovely. And the more fabric that I get, the better it feels. At first, it was, I felt a little rough, like baby rough. It's not rough at all. There's no way that you would ever consider this rough, but it was just different. Again, I don't know what the organic versus non-organic things have to do with it. I don't know if there's a chemical or it's a dyeing process with an organic yarn or organic dye. No idea. Don't pretend to know. But it's just not quite as delicious as the Trilogy yarn. However, I'm starting to like this a little bit better. Yeah, the fabric is just really lovely. And this is on her, just to make sure. Yeah, it's 100% organic merino. You can see that. And 400 yards. It was right in front of me, couldn't see it. Yeah. I'll be getting my eyes checked sometime next week and getting some new glasses likely, because it's been a couple of years and yeah, I'm having some trouble, but what else is new? So yeah, that's my Bustleton tee. If I could pick one to work on, it really would be this. Good needles. These are wooden Chigu. Love, love, love them. They are really special. But yeah. And that's on like 4s and 5s or something like that. So yeah, I'm getting up there real personal with you. Yeah. All right. So guess what? New cast on. Yeah. it's a sickness. I don't know what to do about it. But I'm going to knit what I want, and that's how it goes. All right. I have some. Next week, I will be going to a new activity for me. It's called the Yarn Lounge. It is held in the Orlando area at a microbrewery, and it's a mini knit in public, probably drink beer in public, little Fiber Festy kind of thing. They have a small amount of vendors. Olive and you two, which is it? They will be there. I'm not sure which other vendors will be there. But yeah, so it's a day to see other knitters, meet new people. So hopefully I'll be able to get some footage from that event. And I think Emma's Yarn, or Four Pearls Knit Shop, which is in the Winter Haven area, is like a sponsor for this. So I imagine they will be there. Don't hold me to that. I probably have made that up. But you can go online if you're in the area in Orlando. Excuse me, in Orlando. I don't know if tickets are still available. It's August the 24th. It runs from 2 to 6, so it's 4 hours long. So you can't get too drunk, right? You have to drive home, first of all. Yeah. Not a big beer drinker, so, but yes. Go on to, do a Google search for the Yarn Lounge. And if you'd like to go, see, they're free. The tickets are free. Swag bags were sold out within a few days, from what I understand, way back when they first put out tickets. So those are no longer available. But that's okay. You can buy your own swag. So if you're in the area and interested and you are there, say hey to me. It's very weird to see people that kind of know me, but come up to me and say hello. It's like, do I know you? I don't know, do you? So yeah, so if you're there, come and say hi to me, yeah? Okay? So I cast on something new. Let's get back to the new cast on. This is the Everyday Tee by Twin Stitch Designs. Let's get a little lacy part up here. I will be making my sleeves longer if there's yarn. And there will be, because this is Emma's yarn. Oops, I did it again. And I got 2 Hella Hanks. So I should have enough yarn, and if I don't, I can always buy a mini, because I don't think it would be much more than that. Isn't that pretty? This has been in my stash for about a year. I love this color. I love this color, and I love this color. And I'm not big on neons, but I like these two. Not big on the orange, not big on the blue, not big on the purple, not big on the like yellow, like safety jacket yellow, but that color green, ooh, love. Anyway, so this is Emma's Hella Hank, which has 150 grams or 600 yards. So 1,200 yards ought to do that for my sleeves. Oops, I did it again. And the yarn is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. So it's yummy. It's very yummy. And I've gotten the lace part finished. And now I'm on the rest of the yoke. And of course, lace. So yeah, it's pretty. I like the color. Really like the color. And I like that it will stretch out a little bit with blocking, but that it's not way down. You know how some tees seem to have a larger neck, even with the smaller needles. Sometimes I feel like if I did that again, I would go down 2 needle sizes for the rib or the cast on. So yeah, I think it's nice. So this is made with Emma's yarn, and this is what I've decided to take with me on Saturday. This is what I'm going to be working on the majority of this week to try to get it to split for the sleeves, so then I can just do stockinette the rest of the time. So I can sit and chat and have a beer and not worry about too much about patterns and counting and all the things. So yeah, new cast on. Love it. These are, they're not real needle holders. These are the things that you put in like a jacket with the cord. I bought a bag of those off of Amazon. They're like really cheap, not really cheap, but you know, when you start adding up the markers, this is what they look like. And then you squeeze them together and put your needles through. I like them a lot. And yeah, they're sitting all around here. So yeah, not on my projects. You should know me by now. So let's see, did I get everything? I think I did. I have no new purchases this week. Yes, that's true. This is not going down pretty much at all. But I'm doing my job of casting on so that I can get rid of that, right? I imagine that I will probably purchase something this weekend, just to be realistic. I feel like it's not my job to stimulate all the yarn economy, but just the great majority of it. So yeah, as we know, it's a second hobby. First being knitting, second being yarn collecting. So yes, so I will probably come home with a skein or two. I'm trying not to purchase one skein here, one skein there, because I end up with nothing really to do with it. So what I'm going to do is kind of look ahead and say, I like this pattern. I think this pattern is nice. So if I buy something, I need to buy a tonal yarn, and I need to buy enough for the entire sweater. So that's probably what you'll see. We'll see. Plans. What are my knitting cast-on plans? Well, of course, all of that, all that's in the box, all the whips that I've got, and we're still doing Whip Be Gone. Keep posting. I think next week I'll probably pick for some prizes. So make sure that you go on there and post all your finished projects. It's on the Ravelry page under Recreational Knitting. I still have not heard from one of the winners, so probably next week, if I haven't heard from her, I will pick another one for the past. I know that I've sent 2 packages out. I hope that you've gotten them. Let me know if you have in the comments down below. And this is something that I saw on Ravelry this week. I think I had to pay for it, which I'm okay with. You know, I like the free patterns. They're very good, but I like to support, you know, the designers. This is the One Chevron Cowl. And it's by Mouse Army Mitten Company. This looks like a great way to use up some scraps. I was thinking, if you're so inclined, this will be a very low-key knit along because it's me. I'm not going to mention my Wisdom and Moon shawl that I haven't picked up, but cooler weather is coming, so I'm hopeful. And that is still going on, by the way. That will run through December, as will Whip Be Gone, Stash Be Gone, 2024 for both of them. So yes, it's all still going, and I'm going to pick some prizes. Last week I told you that a lot of this, I will be picking some really nice yarns out of there as prizes to help me to give back to this community. So yeah, I was thinking, if you're so inclined, to do a scrappy project. That's what this is, to use up scrappy sock yarn. Now, that doesn't look terribly scrappy to me. I mean, that's beautiful, but I'm sure it is. And I'm looking at my all my yarns up there. Those are mostly sock yarns. There's a couple DK there, but I think that I have enough here that I can make one of these. So I was thinking, let's have a Scrappy September. Prizes, all of the things. What do you think? It can be this cowl, or, if you're so inclined, another cowl. I don't really care. But it must be scrappy, and it must be a cowl. Now, for me in Florida, this will be a gift for someone who lives in the frigid northeast, northwest, or north. So yes, but this is the one I think I'm going to try to accomplish, using some of my scraps and coming up with a nice colorway. I have some pinks, mauves, stripey kinds of things. So I think this might be really nice. So I will open up a thread for that on Recreational Knitting on Ravelry, and you can post whatever you'd like on that as far as it's related to this. Yeah, you can show progress, you can show finished objects, chat, all of the things, and I will pick maybe two prizes from that. This will start September the 1st, and it will run through the 30th. Maybe that will be, yes, maybe that will be it. We'll see. All right, books. I have a book for you to read that's fun, that's not controversial. This one is called West with Giraffes. Some of you may have read it already. I think it came out in 2021. It's not Joyce Rutledge, but her last name, I think it's Linda Rutledge. I went to high school with a Joyce Rutledge, so yeah. Every time I try to say her name, it comes out Joyce. It's Linda Rutledge. I don't have the physical book. I did it on Audible, which I wasn't crazy about the narrator. But it is historical fiction. It's based on a true story that occurred in 1938. Don't hold me to that date, but it's in the late 30s, pre-World War II era. The San Diego Zoo was shipping 2 giraffes from Africa and got these giraffes, plus a lot of different animals, got caught in a hurricane. And these giraffes washed up, for lack of a better word, alive in New York City. This is a real hurricane. I forget what I don't know if they named it. I can't recall. But this is a story about how they went from New York City to getting them to the San Diego Zoo. You can look the book up. I'm sure, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local bookstore, which I would hope could order it for you if they don't have it. It's just a charming little book. It talks about Depression era kinds of things. But it was nice for me, and I'm sure for many of you, it will remind you of maybe some of your car travels that you've had in the past. It went from New York City down through New Jersey, Delaware, into Conowingo. Conowingo, Maryland, is where I used to work many years ago, again, when I had regular colored hair and good knees. Yeah, I worked at Conowingo Elementary for a bit. And so, that was fun. And they talked about some of the Jim Crow era kinds of things, like there were only, what did they call them? Car camps, I think they called them, where you could have a little cabin, and there were for whites only, and then there were some for African-American populations. So, and they stayed in both through this. And it was just very interesting how they were accepted. The news started to get to a lot of the people in the United States via their papers when this crew hit like the Virginia area. And it's just a lovely book. Highly recommend it. And it's written from actually he was a 17-year-old young man that had no parents. He was from Oklahoma, victim of the Dust Bowl. And it's from his perspective now that he's living in a nursing home. So the love of animals is evident throughout this book. So if you're like me and love animal stories, it's really a beauty. So yeah, if you see it on your list and want just kind of a feel-good story for the most part, yeah, this is it. I think we all need a feel-good story. Yeah. So another thing that I've been watching on Netflix is the little series. I think there's 12 series, and I'm not quite finished yet, but it's called Alba. It is a Spanish series. It's dubbed, so if you hate dubbing, don't watch it. But it's really a lovely, scratch lovely. It's a really good series. I like it. It's not easy in some places to watch. There are violence, abuse, substance abuse, all of that. But the story within a story is a love story. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, tune in and see if you think it's worthwhile. I'm knitting to it, and I think I have 2 more to go. Hopefully the ending will be good. That's my hope. Justice will be served. And that's all I have for today. That's a long time. I've been yakking for 48 minutes. I didn't think I had all that much this week. I feel like I have knit a lot this week. Not a lot to show for it. But my new cast on, that was good, huh? Yeah, that was good. Using some of that stash. I have the last time I put on Knitometer, I think I'm up to 12 miles of yarn that I've knit this year. Yeah. And a finished object. It's all good. That's it for today. I'll see you the next time. Hope you're well. Thank you again for being here. It's amazing how many of you keep coming back. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do. My numbers are going up. It's amazing what happens when you actually like film and put things up. Yeah, so I hope that you found something that was enjoyable here. And tell me what you're knitting. Put them in the comments. I love to hear what everybody's knitting. I hear, this beautiful colorwork sweaters and, well, that's not me right now. So, although I have one in the works, I have the yarn for it. And I'm gonna start that probably in December. So, on that note, I'm gonna tell you, knit in peace. Bye.